everyone, it's Old Guardian here. In this Warcraft Rumble campaign guide, I'm going to take a look at the Crystal Shaper in Ungaro Crater. The definitive features of the Crystal Shaper fight are these crystals that both sides can pick. Your minis can also pick these, and then you will get the effect instead of the enemy. And then the golems that are going to come rushing down each lane. So the crystals, there's healing, there's additional speed, and then there is a freezing orb, which is a slowing effect. And the really hard part about this fight is surviving the initial push. So just use all of your powers to survive, and once you have survived that, and I'm going to show you how in the gameplay footage, once you have survived that, then I like to attack this tower. Because this tower guards the freezing effect, which is the most powerful of these effects, and it guards this gold node. So once you have this tower, that denies the opponent access to this gold, and denies them access to this freezing node, and that's just really good. After that, I like to push here and take this tower and start working on pushes towards the boss and just winning. And this is the army that I completed the Crystal Shaper with. It's a Grommash Hellscream army with Grom, Stonehoof Tauren, Batrider, Harpies, Pyromancer, Quillboar and Ghoul. Yeah, Ghoul makes an appearance. I haven't used Ghoul a whole lot during the campaign, but for this specific mission, in order to survive the early start, I just needed a cheap taunt that can take some hits, protect my base, help me survive. Also, Batrider, area of effect damage, so there's going to be some raptors coming in at the start. Batrider's excellent against those. Pyromancer can also shoot at all the masses of stuff that's coming at you at the start, and can shoot Harpies down as well, so excellent choice there. Stonehoof Tauren, another pretty sturdy tank, also one that can rush the Mountaineer down behind the bear, so excellent there. Harpies just dealing a lot of damage. Quillboar, well, can be used to pick up runes, can be used as distraction, just doing the usual stuff. In this specific map, I'm also sometimes using Quillboar as a cheap tank right near my base. Usually I wouldn't do that, usually I would spend Quillboar somewhere further on the map, but surviving that early start. That's why there's a bunch of pretty cheap stuff here as well. So I can get cheap tanks out there, I can get cheap area of effect damage out there, and I will just be able to survive. And from there, we start to stabilize, and then we start to push at the boss. And this is what it all looks like in action. So here we go against Crystal Shaper. A hectic start, not quite Rain Wolfrunner hectic, but there's a bunch of ground troops coming, Batrider trying to counter those. I'm spending the Quillboar here to tank. I'm putting the Pyromancer in the back so that it doesn't get attacked and it gets to start handling those. Grom, another tank coming, just trying to hold the push. Now the Batrider managed the first push and deals a little bit of damage to the first elemental. Now I'm handling the left side elemental, Grommash, Harpies, Pyromancer, that's a good way to handle it. And now I also have enough power to start pushing towards that lane, and I'm using Quillboar there for distraction. Meanwhile, my own base, the Ghoul is doing splendid work, just tanking the Golem so that the base can hit the Golem. As long as Ghoul is there, Ghoul is tanking, the base is going to be fine because base is not the one that's getting hit. And now I have managed to get the first base, so at this point I'm quite confident that I am going to win this. Obviously, well, things may take a couple of turns here during this game, but at this point I'm feeling pretty good. I have one tower, I survived the first push, most of the losses come at the first push. Now, obviously, there is another push coming, there's some Harpies, I'll feed the Ghoul to the Harpies. I put it so that the base can shoot the Harpies, then I'll use the Pyromancer as well. Now Pyromancer positioning maybe a little bit to the left, so it would have shot at the Golem as well, but I save it with the Harpies, it's okay. Base is under attack by the Raptors, but Batrider is going to make short work of those Raptors with the tower. And now I have some means to push, and I can start contesting that gold vein. They do get one gold there, which is unfortunate, but Quillboar now with the regeneration, because it managed to pick up the rune, it's just quite tanky. And I'm able to start pushing here. The tower is committed to the Ghoul that's cannibalizing, which is fine. So Quillboar and Ghoul, just tanking a lot of stuff. And then the others just dealing damage, Harpies mostly, and then the area of effect damage. So you can see how the team really comes together. Area of effect damage, the cheap tanks, and then Harpies giving some more concentrated damage. Here again I'm using a Quillboar just to tank at my own base. Not something that I typically would do with Quillboar, but Quillboar plus Ghoul, two cheap tanks, and cool again. Like using a lot of cheap tanks so that the bases are going to handle those golems. The cheap tanks are going to keep them at bay a little while, and the base is just going to shoot them down. And now the situation looks even better. We have 2 bases, we're mining some gold, we're getting ready, setting up the next push, which I at this point think is going to win the game. I actually think it didn't, but yeah, at this point I believe this is going to win. And then we go in, and we're throwing more stuff out there, but then the whole bunch of golems spawns just when I was fighting there, so now my push is being held back a little bit. That's okay, they're all at pretty low health. I'm not scared by those. There's a pretty decent push coming now towards this tower. I'm trying to save the ghoul again, just cheap tank in front of the tower. Very often you make the tower tank and then you put some damage dealers, but in this specific map I like to have cheap tanks instead and have my tower be the damage dealer. So now it's getting into overtime, which means more gold income. I'll be able to mine there. I do lose that one tower, but now the Crystal Shaper is already quite low. It's overtime, we have a lot of gold, we still have one base that's close enough so we can add in the final push and take the Crystal Shaper down. Thank you for watching. Click like and subscribe if you enjoyed this, and a special thanks to all of my Patreon supporters, YouTube members and Twitch subscribers who make all of these videos possible.